Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. At CitizenCon I got to talk about prison gameplay and saw a whole presentation on it as well in the Locked Up panel that had Luke Presley, the lead Star Citizen live designer, talking about prisons, prison gameplay, what they were working on for Alpha 3.9, a little bit of what they were working on 3.8 as well afterwards. Yeah, I talked to him at length about prisons, laws, missions, all that sort of stuff after his presentation. I'll try to summarise and put prison gameplay in context here, and then sort of add what else I was talking about. My voice is significantly better today, although not perfect. I may be streaming later if people are around. The first prison we will have in-game is the Klesha Automated Prison on the moon of Aberdeen. The prison does not have any NPC guards, and as its name suggests, it's automated, so just yourself, the automated defences, and, well, the atmosphere of Aberdeen to keep you there, and the other inmates. So, what is a prison supposed to do in-game? Well, prisons are supposed to affect the in-game world in a few ways, in a similar way that they affect the real world. They take criminal players out of the rest of the game for a while, or otherwise incapacitate them. They give lawful or wronged players a sense of justice. They act as a deterrence for committing a crime in the first place, and in the real world they act as rehabilitation centres, though that's less likely in Star Citizen, but I suppose maybe after you come out you might not want to commit a crime again? The rough idea of prison gameplay for someone who's been locked up in one is this. Crimes you committed will be converted into a debt of merits that you will need to pay off, and then you can be let out. As soon as you've paid off those merits, you can effectively leave. You can trade those merits in for freedom. That's if you want to be let out, that is. When you die or surrender within the sphere of influence of a bounty hunter or appropriate security force, and you are a wanted criminal, then you will be sent to prison. That's the sort of like short to mid-term idea behind that. The Klesha prison that they've been working on has a single cell block with 64 cells in it. They can add more cell blocks in the future. They can have much larger prisons. This is all sort of like modular building tech, so they can keep on adding more and more and more to it. The prison has an above-ground structure and ventilation, but is primarily underground. It's effectively a mining facility. It's styled in a combination of procedural cave tech and some new prison assets, like the cells, a large atrium, the mess hall, the exterior, and oxygen refill stations, and big sort of like holes in the ground and stuff. When you are in prison, you will accrue a merit just by being online every minute or so. Now, this is what was suggested during the presentation, but assume that everything we talk about here is work in progress and subject to change, especially the balance of how merits work and stuff. You do need to be online to accrue merits. You can't just log off and avoid your prison sentence, log back on and be like, I've got all the merits I need to leave. You can, however, trade merits with other inmates or work to gain merits, and as Klesha is effectively a mining facility, you can go into the mines and there earn basically extra merits by working. You'll be given basic equipment, a prison suit and helmet, a multi-tool and ore attachment, and you can mine and then deposit the mined items to gain more merits. You can use your merits then to buy better gear from the automated dispenser called the commissary while in the mine as well, thus leveraging your merits to make more. You'll be able to buy better mining tool attachments, an additional mining tool, I suppose, maybe better environmental protection equipment, things like that, oxygen refill pens, that sort of stuff. So mining is dangerous, and there is no oxygen, or at least not enough to be able to breathe on Aberdeen. You need to refill your oxygen in your suit at refill stations or with oxypens. So getting lost or going too deep could mean that you suffocate. If you die in prison for any reason, whether someone punches you in the back of the head, or bottles you, or you succumb to suffocation, you will respawn back in your cell. I'm not sure if there's going to be any sort of like merits as a punishment that you would accrue on your sort of like merit debt. If you die, maybe you've got sort of like doctor's bills or something. Because the idea here is that everything in the Klesha prison will cost you monies, I suspect, or merits. There are noxious gases, environmental obstacles, other inmates. They could be dangerous to you as well. Committing a crime in prison will end up adding to your merit debt. So accruing merits isn't the only way you can get out of prison, and there are potential escape routes in the mines. They've built the mines specifically to be quite expansive and labyrinthian. So you'll need to plan your escape well, as the sort of like winding caves will deplete your oxygen, and they're sort of built to do that. The surface of Aberdeen isn't breathable, so you'll need to transport yourself off the moon some way, whether you've arranged that with another player or whatever. The prison will have automated defences, so turrets shooting at trespassing ships and vehicles will be a thing. Obviously, if you trespass on the prison, that will probably be a crime itself. Luke told me that you will be shot at a lot if you're trying to evac someone from a prison. Also, he said that it would be hard to get someone else that's not a criminal into the prison, like fully armoured and fully kitted. In fact, they are trying to make that as unlikely as possible to happen. You should only be able to get out of a prison rather than break your way into a prison for the most part, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what they do with that. They did show some gameplay of the prisons. They've got quite a lot of the assets already there. Some of the sort of like escape gameplay they showed was of a ship literally sort of like going into one of these large vents on the surface by the prison and then going down into the mines. And then they had the player who had been running through the mines do like a running jump off a platform to reach the rear door of Cutlass with its door open and then escape like that. But even if you do escape, your tracking chip will activate at some point and then have missions created for you for bounty hunters and security to come after you. I suspect that you will then want to go and hack down your criminal rating as quickly as possible or retreat to a less lawful system. They are adding some civil defense forces or citizen defense force missions that basically are open missions for lawful players to engage with lawbreakers for a reward, hunt down people that are escapees. Also, if you scan and discover that someone's breaking the law, then you can engage them for a reward. And the idea here is that you should be rewarded for taking out pirates and hostiles and lawbreakers. You can donate merits to other prisoners as well when you're in prison, which leads on to some interesting gameplay. Some people might just stay in prison to farm merits to then sell them to other players for UEC or clout with an organization or something. You give me some UEC and I give you 2,000 merits so you can get out immediately of prison. I genuinely expect some players will just live in prison as well. That is perfectly valid, viable gameplay, especially of how fleshed out everything already sounds in the short to medium term. This is quite interesting gameplay for me anyway. Another way to get merits would be to fight for them. They talked about having a boxing match in a prison. So literally, they've got the new hand-to-hand combat system. Maybe you could bet on fights or participate in a fight to earn some merits. There might be inmates as well that want you to do particular tasks, shank someone or whatever, and they will give you merits for doing that for them. Violent criminals might have merit bounty rewards set on them as well. So if you are creating a lot of disruption and destruction in a prison, not only will you get and start to accrue sort of like a merit penalty again, but also other inmates might come after you for rewards. So also the automated defenses, I suspect, will deal with you pretty well. So there are technically other reasons to be in a prison other than just being a criminal. So there are contacts to be made in prison, potentially mission givers. You might have missions to guard or supply a prison, to break someone out or to otherwise get them released quickly, to assassinate someone in a prison. You might even see business opportunities, as I said earlier, by selling merits or having characters that live in prisons help get others out. Someone might take a blame for a crime as well, though I don't know how that would work. You might protect an inmate in a prison. You might want to smuggle something in or out, or even potentially use a prison as a place to hide. The start of prisons is coming in Alpha 3.9, which is Q1 2020. The CDF, the Civil Defense Force or Citizen Defense Force, open bounty stuff and expanded criminal system with the new way of hacking down criminal ratings, with part of that being that individual crimes have to be removed when you're hacking, is coming in 3.8, it looks like anyway. And it also looks like when you are hacking down individual crimes as well, you'll literally be able to choose the reason that you are removing the crime on the database, like saying, oh, this crime is invalid because of diplomatic immunity or mistake or something like mistrial. They also said that they wanted to add a permission system to parties so that you can set whether party members are exempt from doing crimes and damage to other party members and their ships. So basically, don't press charges on my party. It can be like a set option so that, you know, you don't accidentally go, oh, sorry, I accidentally punched you. I'm sorry, I apologize. They are going to be adding a few new laws as well, some of which are coming in 3.8, but they'll add more and more and more to the game as the sort of like game requires. So harboring a fugitive, sabotage, insurance fraud were all ones that I saw that were listed that were entirely new, as well as sort of like assault and battery for taking people down by punching them, but not actually killing them. I do really like the idea of if you are scanning someone that is smuggling goods in certain areas, that they become a criminal and you can engage them for a reward. I do like that sort of like idea. I was also talking to Luke and another couple of devs about new missions and R&D that they've done for missions. So CIG spend time testing out mission ideas and constructing a mixture of, at the moment anyway, multi-part missions and more simple missions for the dynamic mission system. The mission shown during the keynote, for example, is a multi-part mission that they've sort of like been playing around with, and they're going to have variants in these multi-part missions as well. I was told that with some of the R&D that they were experimenting with relatively recently, they had sort of like some logic puzzles, and they had a virus that you had to sort of like interrogate to work out what one of these terminals in front of you was a virus. So they had these terminals in front of you, and you had to work out which one of them was like lying to you. At a glance, you'd have information like yellow always lies, and this one always tells the truth, and you have to work out through logic which of these is actually the correct one. But you could only discern some information at a glance, but then you could also interrogate and talk to the terminals further to get more information. The R&D and mission building they are doing will directly relate to what we have in the future. Now, they might not use all of the R&D and like mission bits that they build, but they certainly will be used in the sense that they worked out what was appropriate, what wasn't appropriate. They might take some of these ideas all the way down a rabbit hole. They might lead on to another idea, something truly awesome. But they basically do this R&D, have a load of ideas for missions, and some of these ideas become a full fleshed out mission or module or part of a mission. Other bits might be used later, even much later in the future, or they will deem some bits of R&D not appropriate for the mission set that they are building. But one of the other things I got from everyone I talked about R&D, missions, prisons, especially Luke Presley, who was handling sort of like short to mid-term deployment of a lot of the stuff that we get into our hands in the persistent universe, they were incredibly excited for what they've got planned over the next 12 months. And even in 3.8, there is a lot of new mission stuff coming. 3.9, a lot more. And they were very cagey about exactly what they could and couldn't tell me, because there's apparently stuff that they want to surprise us with. And they are very aware that leaks happen, and I will happily talk about them, because I am a Star Citizen information monster. Anyway, please tell me what you think. Are you excited for prison gameplay and the new laws, systems that are coming in, and this sort of like quite a lot of fleshed out ideas for prisons with the merit system? Do you think that players will actually live in there? Because I think they genuinely will, and just accrue merits, especially when we've got sort of like full persistence in game. It's just the more sort of like gameplay loops we get for this stuff, the better, and it adds to the game being a actual playable sort of like fully fleshed out experience. Very much looking forward to it, but whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I will get some other summaries of some of the gameplay up once we have the sort of like panels come out. I don't have the footage for the prisons at the moment, but we'll see what videos evolve from my CitizenCon 2019 experience as we go. I'll be putting more and more out. My voice is significantly better, but it still hurts to talk, so I will stop rambling. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For November, it's for a Cutlass Black game package and CitizenCon 2948, last year's goodie pack. All you need to do for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during November 2019. More details below. A quick bit of shilling as well. Shadow provide remote access to high-spec gaming PCs as a subscription service, so you don't need to maintain your own gaming PC. You can leverage the power of your internet to turn your phone, tablet, laptop, or home PC into a monster. They are taking pre-orders for their new hardware configurations, scaling for 4K gaming, up to 32 gigs of RAM, and a GeForce Titan RTX, which I am very much looking forward to playing Star Citizen on. Links below, and use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. I also use NordVPN, which I've decided to continue to support as they appear to have one of the best VPN services currently available at an affordable price. If you're looking for a VPN, consider them, links below. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you would like to share my video, comment, subscribe, like, all that sort of jazz, ring the bell, that all helps content creators. Also, if you want to further support the channel even more, there's Patreon, there's direct donation, there's the YouTube join button as well, which gives you access to some more sort of like exclusive content from me. Thank you very much for watching, you take care, and I'll see you in the verse.